Hi everybody, I'm Fish, and welcome to my Elden Ring deathless run. The goal is simple, to roll the credits with 0 deaths. I have done a large number of Elden Ring challenge runs, but haven't recorded too many of them. I have some videos of level 1 runs on New Game and New Game Plus, for example, and other hitless boss fights, but this is my first time doing a long edited video like this for a challenge. This is my first attempt to complete and record this challenge, so going into it, I was pretty nervous to even start because I didn't want to, have to restart after several hours and have all the footage and have to redo everything and edit more. But basically, all I knew is that going into this, that I needed to prioritize leveling vigor for most of the game and rely on my weapon level for damage. I didn't watch other videos on the best strategy for this, but I know from my level 1 runs that your weapon level is where you're going to get most of your damage, and leveling vigor to try to not die in case I choke. And I choose the Vagabond starting class because it has the most vigor and strength combination, and I took a golden seed to help stay healed up. Here I have a really close fight against the Grafted Scion, but am ultimately defeated. This does not actually count as a death for the run because the "you died" screen doesn't show up. You just get teleported to the next area. I play with mouse and keyboard, and sometimes I don't do the inputs correctly because on keyboard doing stances can be weird, but I do get used to it throughout the run. And speaking of the stance, which comes from the square off ability, it is amazing that the starting class comes with that attribute because it deals great piercing damage and tons of stance damage when you land the attacks. I could obviously come back and fight the Tree Sentinel later, but if I can't do it now, then do I even deserve to do this run? In this fight, you'll notice a few things. Square off does great damage and poise damage. I screw up the input at least once, and I usually keep my health topped off to not get one shot by any attack. I don't heal here because HP is for babies, and that's our first victory in the books. Now I run over to Gatefront to talk to Melina. I tell her I'm married, but she can still give me her horse, and then I level up my vigor. Then I fight the Knight's Cavalry to get some levels for my HP, which takes forever. I learned here that square off does have a deceptively low range, but this fight will give me a small boost that'll be worth it. I grab a golden seed and decide it would be fun to fight the Crucible Knight to get some more runes, since he has no idea how much wilder gameplay I have in Night Rain. After successfully landing every parry, it turns out to be an easy fight and not even close. I go to fight the Bloodhound because it would be fun to have his sword, though I never actually use it, and because he has no idea how much Elden Ring Night Rain I've played. However, I forgot that most of that was using OP Nightfarer abilities. The boss rage baits me constantly by scooting out of my square off range and gets a few heavy hits in. At the end of the fight, I exhaled deeply because it wasn't even close at all. Easy game. Next, I go to the Weeping Peninsula to get some Sacred Tears and some important physique items, the Protective Bubble and Stamina Regen. It was also at this point I remembered I didn't even have the flask to do that anyway. The fight isn't much of a challenge, I just have to make sure I don't get cornered by pots during the spam attack. Next, I grab the Golden Vow Ash of War for better attack and defense, and then I finally get the Physique Flask from the Church of America. I grab the Green Turtle Talisman for better stamina regen, fight a boss to get another level for Vigor, and then grab the Grace by Margit. I sadly didn't realize I wasn't recording at this point, but I went to this church to rest so that Melina would let me go to the round table so I could upgrade my weapon a little more. I genuinely forgot I would be forced to fight the NPC here, but I was fine spamming the Ash of War. I also purchased a dagger so I could put Golden Vow on it. Lastly, I added a couple more levels of Vigor, buffed up, and fought Margit. I'm very passive in this fight because Margit has several extra combos that only trigger if you are standing too close to him while finishing other moves, so you have to do nothing sometimes. I also needed to be careful to not fall off the edge and die from that. I don't usually use small, fast weapons in Elden Ring, so during the fight I realized I could get a few extra hits in during Margit's combos. As you can see, I kind of start to do that near the end of the fight. It was also at this point I realized I forgot to equip my talisman. Minor setback. I put my levels into Vigor and prepare to bravely go the long way around Stormveil Castle. Now, I went this way because I don't want to risk it against the exploding ballistas, and it's not like this is a speedrun, so I'm totally fine just going the long way. I did have an annoying counter with a lovely bird before the first grace, but the rest went pretty smoothly. On the way to the arena, I grab another golden seed, get the grace, and go back for a smithing stone 2 before getting one final upgrade before the fight with Godric. I'm not too worried about this fight. The only thing really on my mind is not getting grabbed if I already happen to be at low health. Usually I play the game with light armor, so some dodges I messed up by not accounting for the smaller distance you travel with medium armor. I do want to have good armor though, in case I choke, as I've said. I've decided to play the entire fight for all the major bosses, but if you'd like to skip ahead, then feel free. Now, because I don't plan on dying, using a Great Rune is a great plan because its effects last until death. And Godric's Great Rune raises all attributes by 5, which is really good. So, I go to activate it at the Divine Tower. By the way, when a Great Rune is activated without a rune effect assigned to it at a site of grace, by default it will just raise your max health slightly. You will notice that when I use my Great Rune, my max health increases slightly. I thought that was odd in the moment, and was actually constantly checking my stats the whole run thinking they should be higher, but it never occurred to me until now, editing the video, that I never actually assigned the correct effect at the grace. I don't use rune, the rune effects very often, and my goodness, can't believe I did that. But just a minor setback. Now it's time for Liurnia. I teleport to the Academy for the Grace, head to the tunnels to get the first Smithing Stone Bell Bearing, to get some more upgrades, and then to also have those resources in case I want to use a different weapon later. Then I can finally get into the Academy to fight the Red Wolf of Radagon. I just skipped to it because I don't want anybody to get a headache from running at 16x speed too much during the video. The hardest dodges in this fight are when you have to avoid the projectile magic and the lunging dog at the same time, but other than that, the boss is super squishy, so it's not that. Next, I grab the magic / cold whetstone, a golden seed, and a nice hat. I kill Moongrim and get a little more vigor, and now it's time for the Renala fight. I'm going to skip most of phase 1 because I was being cautious and it's very boring. In phase 2 it was pretty easy because she was only able to get off her first summon, who is very easy to just run away from. I get some more smithing stones from Kaled and kill a baby falling star beast. Now, off to the ruin-strewn precipice for more smithing stones and my entrance into the Altus Plateau. I paused to see Senegal's goal in their game against France since I was watching the World Cup during this run and also did not separate the audio.
Look at that for a strike, ball not moving. I think Magnan might want this one back, but look at the movement on this.
Anyway, I'm able to get more upgrades for my sword before fighting the Magma Worm, who has no idea how much Elden Ring Night Rain I've played. I finally made it to the Altus Plateau, which means I can get some more upgrade stones, the Ritual Sword Talisman, which buffs my attacks when I'm at full health, and possibly the Star Fists. I want to be strong and not get the Star Fists later, but we'll see. The only goal here is just to not die, since I haven't done this before, so I might want to give myself the best odds possible with the best weapons possible. I kill another boss to get vigor points, get a bell bearing, and some more stones, and kill that mini-boss. I kill one final mini-boss who gave me a disappointing amount of runes before finally heading straight to the Draconic Tree Sentinel. When I did my level 1 run, this guy took me forever. It had honestly been a while, so I was a little rusty. You have to be careful to not be greedy, because the lightning attacks, especially in phase 2, deal some crazy damage. This fight put me up to 55 vigor, which means I can almost start leveling other stats. I make my way through the city and make sure to annoy a soldier. I kill the avatar. Melina breaks up with me, even though I already told her I was married. And now is the moment of truth where I decide if I'm going to continue with my current weapon, use the Star Fists, or get a different one. I was weak and ran to get the Starfists. I upgrade them as much as I can for now. Now, if you use Starfist, you must also have Cragblade, so I grab that. At this point, while I'm running up to fight Godfrey, my wife actually FaceTimes me, so I have to enter the boss room and answer the call. I end up forgetting to do most buffs because of that, but the fight was still pretty clean. I finally have 60 vigor. Now I can upgrade some endurance and strength now going forward. For the Morgott fight, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is this was definitely my worst fight of the run because I was still talking to my wife and very much not focused. Why didn't I just wait for the fight to be over? I don't know. I should have done that for sure. I think I was just stressed about the run and not thinking very well. The good news is we don't have to sit through bad fights anymore, and I did not die. Eventually, Melina stops talking so I can get some levels and get the grace to begin the trek to the fire giant. But before continuing there, I decide I'd like a change in armor, so I travel to Volcano Manor since I'll want to stop here before I fight Malekith anyway. I entered the manor and picked up the first mission to hunt down an old man and take his clothes. After that, I went back to the lift to go to the mountaintops. Skipping ahead a bit, I get another bell bearing and upgrade my weapon from the resources in the mountaintops and run straight to the fire giant because there isn't too much else to do in this area. Other than the terrible camera angles and size of the boss and where you have to attack, the fight isn't so bad. I'm getting enough endurance now to be able to wear my new outfit. I'm really glad the run didn't end right here. Now it's time for a nap and to head to Farah Missoula. I run to the arena for the Godskin duo and summon my buddy Bernal. This is the only fight I use an NPC summon for in the run, and if somebody's mad about it, I'm terribly sorry, but I do not like this fight. But I will say, he holds his weight super well, and maybe more than any other NPC summon in the game. After defeating the boss, I received the final bell bearing necessary to get my weapon to plus 24. Next, I run to get the Grace before Malekith, jogging through the classic Friendly Birds and Red Lightning. However, before that fight, I want to get the Blasphemous Claw item to parry certain attacks of Malekith's Phase 2. This isn't necessary, but I think it's fun. I like doing the fight this way. That means I need to go back to the Volcano Manor, run through the dungeon, fight the Godskin Noble, and kill Rykard. I really enjoy this boss fight, but I want to go through it as fast as possible, and I want to put my Somber Stones to use, so I'm going to grab the Serpent Spear and reload the game so I can upgrade it before the boss fight. Next, I tell Bernal that I killed the snake, and now I can fight him for the item I need. This fight was actually extremely close. I regret using the Serpent Hunter for this fight for fun. I put on my new outfit, equip the Blasphemous Claw, and run past the Draconic Tree Sentinel. After Malekith, I only have 3 bosses left, as long as I don't die, of course, right now. A few times in Phase 1, I got a little rage baited by the range of the Star Fists, and had a bit of a close call trying to get the phase transition greedily. I was about to lose it if I missed another attack, because that seriously did not need to take that long. Thankfully, I do get to use the Blasphemous Claw, even though it was only once. The Rune of Death is now mine, so it's time to face everyone's favorite NPC fight.
To become Elden Lord, it's a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Margaret's our helps, but we continue unto eternity.
Gideon had a great attitude. And now, the test to see whose strength befits a crown. Finally, the final boss of Radagon and the Elden Beast is the only challenge left for this run. If people enjoy this video, then I will definitely do the same Deathless challenge for the DLC. And if you have enjoyed it, then please leave a like. I'd also be down for suggestions of other challenge runs you may want to see in the future, so leave a comment if you'd like to. Thanks so much for watching, and here's the final boss fight. I'm super happy I was able to complete this. It was honestly really stressful the whole time because with any small mistake, it was, it's really easy to die in this game. Now, I know that I edited and cut up the run a lot, so if anybody's going to accuse of this being faked, I mean, it wasn't. I did it. There is a website you can upload your save file to, which will show how many deaths you have for each character. So here's that website in case that helps to convince anybody. But this is my main profile. Died a ton there. This is my level 1 character, which I did New Game and New Game Plus on. And here's the character from this run, 0 deaths. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.